Thank you all so much for being here today. My name is London Breed. I'm mayor of the city and county of San Francisco. And I'm so excited to be here with Jeff Lawson here at Twilio, with Rodney Fong, who's the director of the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Grant Colfax of the Department of Public Health, Dr. Susan Phillip, so many people who are responsible for the incredible response here in our city. I think more importantly, I'm excited about the fact that we are moving right along with vaccinating people at a rapid pace. In fact, today I can report that almost 40% of those over the age of 16 here in San Francisco have been vaccinated. And at least 50% of our seniors over the age of 65 have been fully vaccinated, and close to 80% have at least received their first dose. How amazing is that? Now, I know I talk a lot about bureaucracy and how slow things are, but I gotta tell you, with the limited supply, the city and county of San Francisco, through our Department of Public Health and our public health partners like Kaiser, UCSF, and others, we are moving in a fast pace. And what I'm really excited about are the neighborhoods that have some of the highest rates of vaccines, especially for our seniors. And that includes places like the Mission, the Bayview Hunters Point community, the Western Addition, Portola, and Treasure Island. So we're doing everything we can to get to those over the age of 65. We're rocking and rolling, and so thank you all so much for your understanding and your patience. But I definitely can't wait until the press is vaccinated so we can start moving these press conferences indoors. I see Phil Mateer over there putting his thumbs up, definitely. So today we're here to talk about where we are. I'm wearing orange today for a reason, not because it's opening day for the Giants, although that's coming up fairly soon, but because we're in the orange tier. And what that means is our bowling alleys will be able to open, restaurants will be able to expand indoors, movie theaters, you can actually buy popcorn now at movie theaters instead of just sitting in a movie theater watching a film and sneaking in your snacks in your purse. I'm so excited about that, but I'm even more excited that office space will open at 25% capacity. So what that means is downtown is going to start to come alive again. What that means is hopefully many of the restaurants and the coffee shops and the places that you've seen that have been struggling will hopefully be able to open again. And so as a result, what we're going to see is the downtown area, the downtown community come alive. Now, what we've heard from some people is that downtown may change, and we know it may change. We know that there are companies that are talking specifically about working from home, and working from home in various capacities. But let me just say this, I'm tired of working from home. I think when we start to reopen, more and more people are gonna wanna return to work and want to be around other folks. We have a lot of dedicated companies here in San Francisco that are really, truly committed to reopening their offices, to changing and making flexible work schedules. But ultimately, I think most people can agree, working from home is boring. I want to be around people. I want to go hang out with friends after work at restaurants and bars. I want to see the city jumping again. And so San Francisco is going to come alive. We're in the orange tier now today, but we want to, of course, get to a yellow tier and get to a better place. The weather is improving, and what happens when the weather gets nicer in San Francisco, we go out, we want to have fun, we get too comfortable. We don't want to get too comfortable. We know that there is still work to do. We don't want to see another surge. We don't want to go backwards. That's why we are proceeding with caution in how we open. Our museums were at 25% capacity. They're going to 50% capacity. Our indoor dining was at 25% capacity. It's going to 50, and eventually when we get into yellow, office space will increase. we want to continue down that road. And what that means is we all still have a role to play in getting the vaccine when we qualify and making sure that we're continuing to wear our mask and socially distance and do all of those things. Now, I want to just, I forgot that one of the most important things is happening, the opening of bars and breweries. So as we start to reopen in the springtime, I can't wait to see people just out and about and having fun and enjoying themselves in the city. So we are really excited about those things, but I want to talk a little bit about the next speaker, Jeff Lawson, and express my appreciation to people like him who, before this pandemic, saw a lot of the inequities that existed in our city in terms of access for people to the tech workforce, and started a program to support and uplift folks in various communities to create a direct pipeline into the tech industry in order to make sure that people understood it and felt like they were being considered and a part of it. And he definitely has a heart of gold. In fact, when this pandemic began, he and his wife, Erica, started Help Kitchen, and they've invested over $8 million of their own personal money to help this program. And this program helps with people who are food insecure. It helps restaurants because it pays the restaurants, but it provides food and deliveries for those who oftentimes may not completely qualify for benefits, but are struggling financially. And so this program has been active in San Francisco. A number of restaurants have benefited as a result of his generosity. Time and time again, he has stepped up to make it clear that he is a part of San Francisco. He is here to stay. And we are so grateful for his advocacy and work and his support and his desire to be a true champion for San Francisco values at their best. So ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Twilio, Jeff Lawson.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I want to start by thanking you, Mayor, and the Department of Public Health, and the Board of Supervisors, and all of our elected officials who I think have led San Francisco so well through this pandemic, that we have had some of the lowest rates of COVID in the country of any major city, and the lowest death rates of any major city. And so I really appreciate the leadership. It's hard, and I appreciate it. You know, I moved to San Francisco 13 years ago with my wife. We started Twilio. And it always struck me that San Francisco was this city that for 150 years has had this pioneering spirit of people coming here from all around the world, all around the country, in order to start anew, in order to build something, in order to find opportunity, and in order to feel like they can be themselves in this city that would accept them. And that pioneering spirit is still alive today, but we are hurting. It's been a tough year for so many of our fellow citizens. And that's why it's so exciting to be entering the Orange Tier, because it's an opportunity to start rebuilding, start coming together, because all of our businesses need to flourish. Our small businesses, our flower shops, our restaurants, our bowling alleys, and our bigger businesses, the tech businesses. We have an opportunity to come together and to build San Francisco back and to be an amazing community that we have been for 150 years, to have that pioneering spirit guide San Francisco through its next decade. And I'm really looking forward to that. We started Twilio 13 years ago, 3 of us here in San Francisco. Twilio is now about 5,000 employees. We're a global company. We have employees all around the world, but San Francisco is our headquarters, and San Francisco is our home. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to all of our elected officials for guiding us to this point. I can't wait to see what happens next as we emerge into this Orange Tier. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and thank you for making San Francisco your home, because it is truly the best city in the world. All right, next up we have the Director of the Department of Public Health, Dr. Grant Colfax, with an update on what's happening in the city's public health department, and hopefully more to come fairly soon.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Mayor. It's great to be here this morning as we celebrate San Francisco move into the orange tier. And I'm continuously proud of how we've come forward and for our commitment, the commitment the community has shown as we've dealt with this unprecedented year. So I have good news to share today. In addition to moving to the orange tier, our hospital census is the lowest it's been in over 4 months. Today, with just 35 patients across our city's hospitals in the hospital due to COVID-19. And even also good news, we're averaging just 31 cases of COVID-19 a day. That compares to 374 cases a day in this last winter surge. As the mayor said, we're making great progress, and we're putting 3 highly effective and safe vaccines into arms as quickly as possible. We're currently a daily average of 8,600 vaccines a day going into arms in San Francisco. As we have said, as the mayor said, we have capacity to do far more. We could get up to 20,000 vaccines into arms a day. The rate limiting step is we simply do not have enough vaccine supply. We do hope that that will change soon. Now, we're at the point in this marathon with just a few more miles to go to where I think we can see a finish line to victory in sight. And we are tired. We are all tired. I will say I'm tired and my team's tired. We're ready to be done, but we're not quite there yet. And some have called me a coach during this pandemic, and I'm here to tell you that this is not the time to throw in the towel. It's time to dig deep and keep moving forward. We're not immune to the fourth surge despite these positive numbers. And if you don't believe me, look what's happening in Italy right now. And as you know, we're seeing some concerning signs in other parts of the country, including Michigan, New York, and New Jersey. And this is likely, these surges are likely fueled by the variants that we know are in many cases more infectious. Without more vaccine and with the threat of variants, we need to double down on all of our safety measures that we know work to stop the spread of the disease. The social distancing, the mask wearing, the good hygiene, getting the vaccine when you are eligible, taking that vaccine that is safe and effective, and of course getting tested if you think you've been exposed, whether or not you have symptoms. We have excellent testing capacity in the city, and along with the vaccine going to arms, we want to make sure that testing remains a tool that people can use to help stop the spread of the disease. So we're close to the finish line. Please help us stay forward on this trajectory. Hopefully we can go from orange to the next year yellow if things continue to go in the right direction. I don't want us to slow down. We're close to the finish line. We need to get those vaccines to arms. Let's hope for 20,000 vaccines, and let's hope that we're seeing the color yellow in just a few weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Colfax. And as Dr. Colfax said, I think you probably missed that we can potentially get to yellow in the next couple of weeks if we keep being careful with our actions, even as we reopen the city even more. With that, I want to introduce Rodney Fong, the President and CEO of the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce.
Great, thank you. I like the color orange. That is a nice outfit today that you have on, Madam Mayor. Want to thank the mayor's team herself for the leadership and just the flat-out hard work over the last year. This is, as we all know, been difficult on our residents in San Francisco, difficult on our businesses in San Francisco. And I think what's most apparent now through this pandemic is the symbiotic relationship between large companies, their employees, and small businesses. We're looking at a little sushi restaurant right here that needs to get back open. Employees need to fill this courtyard, have lunch here, and so we're very excited to see offices start to open back up. As the doctor said, we must remain vigilant, though, in our return to the office, return to our ways of doing business here in San Francisco, and so we are looking forward to that. Personally looking forward to these businesses starting to open back up. Our streets to become alive again has been so difficult for so many of these small entrepreneurs in San Francisco. Hopefully there's a second wave of renaissance for them to begin to open businesses back up in San Francisco. And thank you, and let's remain vigilant but still enjoy San Francisco. Thank you.
All right. Well, there it is, folks. That's the end of our press conference.